feel you have 1 hour to go.
It scares me, actually. This is just beyond anything anyone could ever imagine. An online talk show. And the Oprah Winfrey, sat on the stage. Crazy. Hello, President! Oprah Winfrey!
Spoonful of Paolo, here we go.
Here we go. Yeah. All right. I don't even know what to say.
I know. And I'm with you on that, because what an amazing journey you've had. I mean, and I don't use the word amazing unless something really is extraordinary. When I think about walking in your father's store 10 years ago and you being, behind the counter and all of that, crazy excitement. That's one of my most fun moments, actually, ever, because you could feel your tension, your anxiety, and your deep, deep, deep joy. When I think about that and the fact that you have grasped, taken the reins of your life and just created this whole new invented self. It's just amazing.
Well, I learned from the best.
Thank you.
It was a Thursday morning. I remember it was just like yesterday. It's going to be 10 years. 10 years this November. It will be 10 years sitting at that service desk, doing my usual labels for the pasta, and then you come in there, say my name, Paolo, Paolo.
Is Paolo here? Hello, Paolo. How are ya? You wrote me a lot of emails. You can stop writing me the emails now, okay? Because you have a big dream to become an actor, right? So pack your bags because you're going to NBC Studios in Burbank. I have gotten you a walk-on speaking role in Will and Grace.
That whole experience, I said to everyone, is my family, because I feel like you brought me closer to my family in a real way.
How so?
With my father, I think,
Really?
You're trying to please, that when I saw your East Bank Club, and I just want to say thank you to you before we met.
Yeah.
Let's just say thank you because I have a real relationship with my parents and they know me. I'm not hiding anything anymore. Mm-hmm. And you said this in one of your life classes, I think with Ellen, is that when you're hiding something, people are going to know. And you won't be able to be yourself.
Yeah.
And when we started A Spoonful, I was afraid because I wasn't really out to my family.
Yeah.
But I knew I had to do it for myself and tell everyone, this is who I am. And when I did that, things were changing with A Spoonful. The audience, I think the viewers, they saw that, and it's just the greatest gift. And I learned that from you. So yeah, okay.
Fantastic.
Fantastic to you. Thank you.
Yeah, because this is the thing. I don't know how you go through life when you're trying to hide who you really are.
Yeah.
So this is, you can never be who you really are supposed to be or who you're meant to be.
That's what I try to tell.
If you're hiding who you are.
Yes, and I try to, and I always want them who's watching, the owners, own ambassadors, the Spoonful viewers, the dreamers, that it's okay, just be who you are. I know there's that fear, but you're gonna be okay. My parents from Italy, they only know what they knew. My dad came here to have his dream, have these grocery stores, but I felt like you educated me, I educated them, and now it's beautiful.
Well, that's what evolving is. That's
that
great.
is. Before you came in, I was sitting here, the Oprah stage. I came to the show many times. The dream happened over here.
Where were you seated? Over there? Over there?
I came 3 times a year, 4 times. I remember the number 591-9222. I would call before we started email.com. And just sitting there and being here now, I think of success and I think of love for this show. What goes in your mind, just sitting here, and this is where 25 years of success happened for you?
Well, that's interesting because I probably will have that feeling once I've finally let this go. I don't think about it. I used to come in every morning and I would think, wow, I own this building. Gee, this is where I work and I am responsible for everything that goes on in this building. Kind of hard to wrap my brain around all of that. Yeah, because when you're anybody who is working at and doing what you love, you're just working at doing what you love. You're not thinking about it in terms of, wow, this makes me very powerful or this makes me very influential. You're just working at doing what you love. And so when I sit here, I don't often think about everything that's gone on here. I just think about whatever's going on in this particular moment.
Yeah.
And there will come a time when I will let it all go, and I will probably think about everything that actually happened here. Yeah.
I get that. You just got back from Atlanta, okay? Your tour. What was that experience like for you? Like, what was like in these arenas when you go on stage and people are screaming and cheering your name? You know, does it feel like a Beyonce moment? Because does it, or are you whipping your hair back and forth?
Well, I don't think it could be a Beyonce moment, because I start out by saying, look, I'm not, because Seven said to me before I went on stage, he said, do people realize you don't have a hit record? You don't have anything. You don't have any of that going on with you. So I don't think it's a Beyonce moment. I think it's definitely, what is it? It's me being in the direct center of what I'm supposed to be doing at that time. You know, if I had a fan and a band behind me, maybe I could have a
Well, you have 7 more to go. You can change it up a little bit. Okay,
you can
seriously.
have a fan and a band behind. But you know, since I was a young girl, I have always known that felt that part of what I was supposed to do in life was to reach out and use my voice. I thought it was going to be like a preacher or like a civil rights leader or something. I didn't know that it was going to take the form of television. And so standing on stage in Atlanta the other night, I thought, oh wow, this is that dream I had, that I would be speaking to thousands of people. But I didn't know it would be the Life You Want tour. I didn't know it would be based on a platform that I created. I didn't know any of that. I just sort of had the very tip of the vision. You know, like, wow, I have an idea that I'm supposed to move in that direction. I'm not sure what I'm going to find along the way.
But you're going.
But I'm
you're
going
with
in
the
that
ride.
direction. Yeah.
With all the moms, the girlfriends, the gays who were coming to San Jose can't wait. What do you want them to leave? What do you want them to feel when they walk out of those doors? What is it?
I call it all women and a few cool men.
Hey, that's right. Okay,
and a
that's
few
good.
cool men.
That's good.
So
yeah, what do you want them to, when they leave, what do you want them to feel when they leave those doors? What is it you're hoping they're gonna feel from this whole weekend tour experience?
What I want everybody to really grasp is, what are you going to do with the precious days that you call your life? They're all precious days and precious moments. And I think that for so many people, it's not until some tragic thing happens, until you get a disease, or you lose one of your limbs, or lose somebody who's really close to you, or some tragic thing happens, that you start thinking about really the amazing, amazing value that every single moment holds. And I think when people go through tragic things, it's not the big stuff that they wish for. They wish for the little moments. They wish for the being able to walk outside, or being able to appreciate a nice rainy day, or being able to appreciate a good meal. So I want people to be astutely aware of how you choose to be in these precious days of your life.
To be
how and who you choose to be.
I love that.
Yeah, how and who you choose to be in these precious days that will be the sum of your life. What will you do with every day?
I gotta write this all down. After you watch this, I'm gonna watch it. I gotta write this all down.
Yeah.
Whew. Okay, Super Soul Sunday. We gotta talk about that because it's my favorite show on OWN. I know it's one of your favorite shows on OWN.
Yeah.
Let me just say this. I think it has 2 Emmys. It's won 2 Emmys, I think, so far.
I think so. Yeah.
It's resonating with so many people.
It has 2 Emmys, but who's counting?
Yeah, but who's counting? 2 Emmys, yes. But tell me this, like, with all of this success for this show, did you have any doubts? Were you afraid when you were starting this show? Like, were people ready for this before, like, thinking about this show, and this was your dream and you've always thought about it?
Well, Super Soul Sunday was my dream for the network. I started out with this idea that you could create a whole network of Super Soul Sundays. And what I soon realized is that the world isn't ready for a whole network of Super Soul Sundays. But you can take that one block on Sunday, and you can create a tribe, and you can bring the people to hear the voice that most resonates with them, that says, I am seeking to be something better, to be something aspirational. I am seeking to be, the highest potential that I can. So for me, that's what that show is about. It's about gathering like minds in a community. It's like a community on Sunday, you know.
It's like, I remember when Shirley MacLaine was on there, I think last season, season 8,
Yeah.
first episode, and she said, do what you're curious about and never mind if it's bold or not. I thought of you because it's
Yeah.
like, just do it and don't mind what the outside.
Super Soul Sunday for me is very much like the book club. I started the book club in 1996, I think it was, and I started the book club because I like books, and I certainly didn't think anybody else was going to respond to it. It was like, well, I like books, so we'll just talk about it. We'll put it at the end of a show, and look what happened with that. And the same thing is true for Super Soul Sunday. I like talking to spiritual thought leaders. I like being around people who can spark ideas that get me to thinking about who I am and why I'm here, and really reinforce my sense of who I am in the world. I like that for myself. It's like feeding my soul, like feeding your spirit. And one of the things that I know is that spirituality is like a muscle, and you have to train that muscle. You have to feed that muscle.
That's exactly what was happening with me.
You have to nourish that muscle, and if you don't, then if there's no acknowledgement of it and actual work towards making that, you know, an enlightened part of you, then that will die.
How has the show changed you personally? Would you say, you know, doing all these seasons now, a couple years, how has this changed you?
Well, it just fortifies me because I don't, you know, for the most part, I don't put anybody on there who's, you know, contradictory to, you know, I believe everything. I literally believe that, you know, there are multiple roads leading to the same source. And so there are also many, many, many different ways to say that. And so somebody can understand the Buddhist way, somebody else can understand the Christian way, somebody else can understand nature's way, somebody else can understand Shirley MacLaine.
Putting it out there.
Just putting it out there.
So what relates to you, what you know,
Yes, I see Super Soul Sunday as an offering. It is my offering to the world. And however you can hear it, however it resonates with you, then...
I mean, for me, just, you know, I think it's brought me closer to God in a more real way, because I feel being present and being there. Before, I think, and especially when you're coming out and you're gay, I think, you know, there's this thing of, does he still love me? Does he still accept me? You know, because, you know, most of your life you're told, no, you can't, don't be like that. But I think Super Soul Sunday for me has made me feel closer to God in a real, an authentic way, and that...
It's not about doctrine, it's not about dogma. It's just about love. And so, you know, I never read negative comments about Super Soul Sunday. I'm sure I get lots of them. So those of you who are writing negative comments, you're just wasting your time, because you know, my team does, but I am only doing it as a source and force for good in the world, because I want people to be spiritually fed. I'm not doing it to tell anybody to be a certain religion. So if you are writing to me and saying, well, you should be saying this name, or you should be saying this, or you should, that is not even
over
why I'm
here on
doing
a spoonful of Paolo.
I'm only
on the Oprah stage.
It's an offering. It's an offering. So if you are open to, it's an offering for people who want to live with an open heart. If that is not who you are, then I'm not talking to you.
Amen to that.
I'm not talking to you.
I love that. You know, in O Magazine, it was back in January, you wrote a What I Know For Sure column. And I ended up, it's in your book that it came out last week, What I Know For Sure, which everyone needs to get this.
Because it is a nice little gift,
yes,
isn't it?
Yes, it is, yes. And I'm going to read you the one that I just fell in love with, because it's about your story. And you write, I'm still trying to wrap my head around the idea that little girl from Mississippi who grew up holding her nose in an outhouse now flies on her own plane, my own plane, to Africa to help girls who grew up like her. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. How proud would that little girl be of you today? Because when I read that, that's what I wanted to know.
Really kind of unimaginable, I would have to say, because at the time that I grew up, an airplane was a thing. Number one, that the idea of even flying on one was like inconceivable, and it was something that white people did. It wasn't something that would ever occur to me that could happen to me. And I was actually on my plane when I was writing that. either coming back from or going to South Africa, and just was like, whoa, this is doing that thing that I talk about. You need to try to take this in. It's like, I always say this, Paolo, you know I've said this for years, God can dream a bigger dream than you could ever dream for yourself. Having an airplane is not something that was ever even in my, periphery.
But isn't that amazing? Like, I think it's just because you don't know what's coming your way, but if you just keep, that's why I always tell everyone, everyone has a dream, find it and work for it. That's what I really want to know from you. What do you know for sure about dreaming big? Because they're all out there, the owners, the dreamers, the spoonful, everyone who's watching. I want them to get inspired by my story, by being here. So what do you know for sure about dreaming big?
What I know for sure about dreaming big is what Paolo Coelho says in The Alchemist. That
I bought that book yesterday.
Yes, wherever you are, the universe will rise up to meet you with the dream. But this is the thing, the dream has to be a pure dream. This is the thing that people miss. That is also true for the law of attraction. We're going to be doing energy of attraction with Deepak Chopra for November 3rd. And the mistake that people make is they're like, well, I wish for it and I really want that and that didn't happen. You have to be in pure alignment with whatever it is you're wishing for. Yeah. So your heart has to be pure and your intention has to be pure in order for it to come in.
Yes, and if it's not,
it doesn't come through.
Yes.
It does not come through if you really are in fear or resentment or resistance toward it. So if you really want something, but deep down inside, like your real intention is, I'm not going to get it, I'm not going to get it, I don't deserve it, I don't know, nothing good ever happens to me, that energy will block whatever it is from coming towards you. So the universe rises up to meet you in the purest of your heart. Like, people think, for example, oh, I want to be famous, or I want to be able to sing, or I want to, like for you, I want to be able to act. What you really wanted was to be able to use your voice.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. And so God, I always say the universe, God, all that is, can dream a bigger dream for you than you can dream for yourself, because it knows the specifics. You can know the general. You can say, I want to be able to use my life to help other people. I can feel that inside myself. Well, then you ask the universe, show me what that is. Yeah. Show me what that is.
I mean, that's how I felt doing Will and Grace, General Hospital, and some other little gigs. I knew that that's what I saw, and that's what I thought I wanted to be.
That's right.
But then when something didn't feel right inside, and then it's like I got more joy by being myself and using this voice, and you talked about it on the last Oprah show, and I feel like this, getting people, celebrities on the show, I mean, it's work. It's a lot of work, but when you love something so much and it comes to you naturally, I like doing it.
But I say this to everybody. You know, the reason why you're here is because there's something that only you can do the way you can do it. For every person who's here on earth, there is that thing, whatever that is for you.
Yeah.
And whatever it is your heart is calling you to do, you have to offer that to something that's bigger than yourself. You have to say, here, I feel this. I really want this. I have a desire for this, which obviously you did. This is what I know when I walked into that store that day. That doesn't happen by accident. A lot of different things have
People
to conspire.
don't know that, but true.
No.
The whole beginning,
Yes. Nothing like that. Nothing
Yes.
that is that big of a moment in your life happens by accident. That is no accident that I would just happen to come into that store on that day.
Yeah.
And no.
Yeah.
It means all the energetic fields are conspiring with you and for you. And in order to do that, your heart has to be in a pure place. And sometimes, I would say this to people, sometimes you're really being discontent with something really opens up the space for you to see what you really do want. I mean, I know in the years when I was being a news reporter and really disliking it, I just inside myself, I thought, God, I hate this. I hate this.
Can you imagine if you were still there and if you didn't listen to the inner voice?
I knew that I would slowly die if I was still there. Yeah. I knew that a part of me, and I think, there's emotional death. Emotional. You felt that at the store. Yeah. You know, my father had a store too.
Yeah, I remember you told me that at East Bank Club. I remember that conversation.
Yeah, my father had a store too. If I had to still be at my father's store, a part of me would have died doing that. I could not have been effective. I could not have been healthy or whole if I just did that.
Your father said what my father still says. It's a good paycheck. I remember
Yes,
you said it. It's a good paycheck.
But if
it's
I was
drilled in it.
still
Yeah.
at,
then
at
look,
my father's market, I
look.
would not be. I couldn't have done it. I couldn't have survived that and been
Yeah.
healthy and whole. I couldn't have done it. And so the same thing is true for everybody else. And it's not to say, oh, gee, that's beneath me. It just that, my heart yearned for something,
Bigger.
greater, bigger.
And greater, yeah.
Yeah, just did.
Let me end with this. Patrick, can you bring that up here? Because we all, I know everybody's watching. We have so many great teachers, and you know who your great teachers are, okay?
Yeah.
So for me, and I remember all my teachers who have helped me.
Oh, it's a little blue box.
Who have helped me. But for you, Oprah Winfrey, you have been the best teacher for me. You taught me something that that my teachers didn't. I have the best parents, but you were able to teach me something that they didn't either, and that is to really love yourself and to be who you are. And if you didn't put that in me, I wouldn't be here today. So I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you, because these 10 years of my life have been such a joy. And every time I book a guest, when we're done, I write in my journal how grateful, the great things, the bad things. But there's always a little bit like, thank you to Miss Winfrey, because when I met you 10 years ago, I started by saying Miss Winfrey. And now, because you said Miss Winfrey, call me Oprah, but I called you that because to me, you were a teacher. And I called my teachers, everyone by, Mrs. Holmes, Mr. Jones, Mrs.
Duncan.
Yeah, Mrs. Duncan. So that's
Yeah.
why. So this is just a little something. I want you to open this from Patrick and I in a spoonful of Paolo. Just to say thank you.
It's a Tiffany box.
Yeah, just a little something.
I love a little something in a Tiffany box.
A little something for you.
Oh, it's an apple for the teacher.
It was a little engraved.
And
Now,
it
read this one
says-
first. Over here, read that first, that
Read
part.
this first.
Yeah,
It says, Ms. Winfrey, you learned. Oh, now see, I'm going to tear up. You learned, you taught, you got, you gave. Love, Paolo and Patrick. Dream big, hashtag. Oh, beautiful. Now this I shall treasure.
just to remind you that you are one of the best teachers, and all of us just thank you so much.
It's a crystal apple. This I shall treasure. Thank you, Paolo.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
No, you're welcome.
Spoonful of.
Thank you, Oprah.
Oh,
Thank
beautiful,
you.
beautiful,
Mwah.
beautiful, beautiful.
Oh, thank you,
Mwah.
Oprah. And don't forget,
Beautiful.
all of you can get Oprah's book. Don't forget, you can get it anywhere.
Oh,
Amazon.
you can get the book. It's a great little gift and
So
a bedside
good,
thing.
so good. And then you go to Oprah.com. You can check. There's more tour dates coming up, so check on that. I mean, I can't wait to come see you in San Jose. It's going to be great. From
be a
all
big
the social
party
media,
night.
people are saying this past weekend it was great.
Yeah.
So I cannot wait. And
San Jose, that's going to be a big
yeah,
tequila
I
shot
can't
night.
wait. I can't wait. So I'm gonna just let me feel this. Let me be present and just say
You're on
thank
the
you.
Oprah stage.
This
We
is-
don't do this,
Before
babe.
you came down here, I
don't do
said a
this.
little prayer to God and I thanked Him. And I want you to know that I really am never gonna forget this. And I really, really mean this when I
You
say
know how
thank
big
you.
this
Just
is?
amazing, amazing.
Big.
And the
Thank you.
pictures of us, I just love
Oh,
it. So
that's
thank you
fantastic.
for trusting me, and thank you all for watching Spoonful of Paolo. And we love you and dream big.
Spoonful of Paolo.
I love you, Oprah. Bye, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
That was good.
Thank you very much.
job.
You take care of yourself, and I don't know, I will take this, and I have a lot to write in my journal tonight.